9:30 in the A. Man, shout out Katie Drip Guard for plugging me in with that event, man. Shout out Sunrise in the building. Shout out 5D Beyond, man. Rob Bob, we can't roll that intro because we ain't got the internet hooked up yet till Monday, so we got to go off the phone. But as you can see, we was at an event today. We gonna go try to get to that event tomorrow and go live on YouTube at that event tomorrow. We just want to check it out, check the scene out, see what's cracking. They had good vegan food there at the West End, man. It was lit. I mean, my people, it was beautiful out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like some of my damn eye. But we back at you again. We keeping it clean, YouTube. We must transform to Ascend, part 2. Another one. I can't run no slides or nothing like that because of, like I say, the internet won't be on till Monday. It's actually on, but it's something going on because we got the same box. But it's something going on where they got to come out and do something. So we'll be back up and running on the Zoom. Now I got everything hooked up. We'll be back up and running on the StreamYard when the internet. I actually can probably go live on StreamYard now off my hotspot, but I ain't tried that yet. I might try that tomorrow since it's gonna be Sunday. But we're gonna be at that event again, so yeah. So we back at you with another one. So as you all know, the war began in Georgia, and the war ends in Georgia. The war ends in Georgia. Now I see what my mission is here. My mission is to could you do a show on how to build a real fly saucer? Oh yeah, I got a show coming out called different type of extraterrestrials. But like I say, all the videos and everything that I want to show y'all of how to do it, because you can build an anti-gravity crap. You build an anti-gravity machine. All right, so to answer Commando's question right now, to get him started, go look up a dude named what's the dude name? It's a dude that's making all the technology. I'll think of his name in a minute. And he making all the magnetic technology and all that. 15th showed us that dude. I can't think of his name right now. But I got a lot of the videos on my YouTube, on my laptop that I'm gonna show when I put that tape out when the internet come back. I got like a list of 40 classes I already wrote down that I got to do, right? But I'll think of that dude name in a minute. We showed him before. Go back on the video called the Mothership Nubaru, where we showed he was making the magnetic machine, where you can make these machines that self energy. You know what I'm saying? Magnetic energy. He make different types of devices. Maybe somebody can drop his name in the chat. But he got those I think of his name. It's a black guy too that makes all this technology with the anti-gravity stuff. I'm gonna think of it and drop it in the descriptions. But yeah, we're gonna do a tape on that Commando. But we're talking about Ascension. Let me get my key. My key. This is the key. Shout out 12 Elder, man. Now, I know what my mission is here in Atlanta and Georgia is I check the oil on people and I see where their heads at, what level they on. And they still talking African American. We African American. We ain't African American, man. Let's get that straight right now. We ain't African Americans. We Native Americans. It ain't a big difference because we the same. We can say we Africans, because we all the same people. But I'm saying, nah, we got to get on our culture. We was over here in America. Now, for my Sabine clan, that's a little different because we was like, we had land over there and over here, and we had yachts. The Sabines had yachts. All right, so let me break that part down because this part of the storyline of the Ascension, but this is part that people ain't getting to. Um, we the Sabines had the land where Inky and them said the gold was good, and in exchange for that, we made deals with these Anunnakis in exchange for technology. For the gold, they was giving us technology like submarines, yachts. They was giving us the helicopters, all the stuff that Inky was designing. That's why when you go to ancient Kemet, you see on the wall, you type in UFOs on the wall of ancient Kemet, they pull up this picture and they show you. We already showed you in the ancient technology tapes, the helicopters, submarines, all that, right? Well, the ancient Egyptians had these technology. Go watch my tape called Straight Out of Ancient Kemet. So most Africans don't have old blood type. That's what I'm telling you. They got A, B, and A and B. All right, let me tell you what that is. It's the synopsis up. A is the Sans man. B is Hindu. AB is a combination of Sans man and Hindu. And then you got the O type, which is Anunnaki. And then you got another type because those Twa-Man got an A type too because they got the chimpanzee mix. The chimpanzee got the A blood type. We got more information on the blood type stuff too. We're gonna come back on another. I don't want to get on that tape because that's a whole nother tape talking about the blood type. I got more evidence to prove what I'm telling you about the blood types. Because the B type is the tiger blood. They meat eaters. B type is carnivores. A type is supposed to be herbivores. And then AB is a combination of both. And then O is omnivores. Type O supposed to eat veggies and meat. And then type B eat meat. They aren't supposed to eat that much vegetables. And then type A, they're vegetarians. I'm gonna break this down later, man. But the type O, we can kind of like go both ways, especially if you O negative. You can kind of like go I say lean mostly vegan because it's more healthy for us as being that we the certain blood type. So man, we ate some good vegan food. When I tell you the vegan food at that event was lit, man. My wife, that stuff that girl gave me that game. It was a purple cabbage, some kind of purple cabbage mix she had. Man, she was fire. I'm telling you, she had. My wife said she had. My wife, she tasted all the stuff. She said, "Oh, I know what she put on this, and she gonna make me some of it." But let me get into this because we're talking about we must transform to ascend. But what I'm talking about the Sabians too, though. Let me break that part down. All right, so the Anunnaki said the land was good in our land, and so they made deals with us in exchange for technology, and being that we were descendants through Ramesses. Ramesses is coming down from the Watusis. The Watusis are coming down from the ship Nubaru. All right, so the Ramesses mates, it ain't Ramesses. People make a mistake saying that it's Solomon. It ain't Ramesses. It ain't Solomon because they saying Solomon. It wasn't no Solomon. The storyline of Solomon is a combination of three different pharaohs. One of them is Ramesses, the second, and another one is Amenhotep, the third. The story about the baby being torn in half. And remember they made a story in the Bible where the two women came to Solomon, and one of them said, "This is my baby. She stole my baby," and the other one said, "No, this is my baby." And they was arguing, right? And then Solomon said, "Well, let's cut the baby in half, and I give you half, and I give you half." And then the one woman said, "No, don't do that. Just give them to her." That's Solomon wisdom let him knew that was that woman's baby. So he gave the baby to the woman and said that. But that storyline is taken from the storyline of Imhotep. Imhotep the third is the one that said that story happened, and they took that and made it in Solomon. We can break that name down too. Then the storyline of the guy having all the concubines, 700 concubines, having like he being wealthy, having all the money. That's I mean Pt.2 was wealthy too. All the pharaohs were wealthy because we had to go right. But Ramesses the second was one of the richest pharaohs to ever live. He got the most statues in ancient Kemet, right? But he coming down from the he was the Solomon, the one that the Sabines from the south married into. Well, they was Ethiopian, and they married and she married into Ramesses, not Solomon. There wasn't no damn Solomon. They made that story up from 3 or 4 different pharaohs. Even they took the part about Solomon getting mad about Hiram and Biff getting killed. They took that part from Cockmos and Akmos, and their dad named Pt.2, who got hit, who was the builder that was building the temple. They got hit in the head, and they took him to the west or the east side of the temple, buried him under some rocks, and then they took him and hit him in the west, buried him on and put a fig, like a leaf, some type of plant. I know what the plant is, but I ain't gonna say it on here, cause yeah, but they had this plant. And Bible talk about it in the Millennial Book. So if you got the Millennial Book, you can read about that. Bible was dropping all that shit, right? But that Ramesses was the guy that came in contact with Queen Sheba and had and birthed start producing the Sabines. But the Sabines already existed before Ramesses. The Sabines go all the way back. If you read the Bible, the people that came and took Job's shit was the Sabines. And the Islamic niggas didn't like us because they said we worship the sun, right? The Sabines worship the sun, right? So they didn't like us. If you go read the Quran talks about Makeda or Sheba, right, being a devil and being that she was worshiping the sun. Her people worship the sun. They were talking about in ancient Kemet how we had Ra, right? As we didn't worship Ra, we just knew the science of the sun, how the sun provides energy. The sun provides shit to grow food. The sun keeps the electricity. Everything the sun gives the planet energy. The sun gives the planet information, life. The list goes on with the things the sun do. Sun give us energy. The sun help us sleep through giving us melatonin through the pineal gland. So the sun is, we realized as Sabines, we understood that the sun will give us this energy. And so one day we worship the sun, it's just that we acknowledge the sun as being, if it wasn't there, if it weren't for the sun, we wouldn't exist on this planet. That's what we understood as Sabines. But being that they were under Elil spell and going through this religious, if you read the Quran, they talk about against the Sabines. And the Bible, if you read the book of Job, just type in Sabines, you see the people that came that took all Job's shit after Enlil got mad and tried to make a deal. Enlil made a deal for $1 on his life, just like on trade and places. When they made a $1 bet for the trade the dude place. Trade to take the dude, put the black dude in the white dude place, right? So the same scenario happened when Enlil made a bet, said that my nigga, you talking about you tested everybody. My nigga Job, he's straight. You can take all his shit and he still ain't gonna go against me. Made a bet on it, right? Bet, and then Lucifer said bet. All right, so he went straight to him. And then they said that this guy was Lucifer, but it really was Enki, right? It really was Enki and Enlil that made the bet, and right. So Enki's people that came and took the shit were the Sabines. Go read the book of Job again. They came and took their shit, so they said that these people were bad guys. We work for the devil, because Enki got turned into the devil. It got turned into disagreeable. From Enlil's perspective, who is narrating, who he got his people narrating the first beginning of the Bible. All right, so this sun has been reacted, and it is, yeah. The sun been feminine. The feminine is the first. The sun was born. The sun created feminine. Because if you understand, okay, let's break this down. And all this is dealing with part of your increasing your knowledge and part of the transforming to Ascension. Because we told y'all you got information, affirmation, mid-formation, and this is what we teaching now is transformation. Yeah, so that's the you got in this world you got female and male with everything, right? Like so when you got pipe, when you're doing pipe, if for my plumbers that's watching, my plumbers know that you got female pipe and you got male pipe. Well, the ends are different, and they can match up together, right? Transformation. That's the information we teaching right now. So it's always the feminine has always been the universe energy starts with feminine. In the mother's womb, when a baby is being produced, the baby starts as a feminine, and then it makes the decision to take on the Y chromosome if it decides to do that, and then it becomes the male in the womb. So all men are really women first in the mother's womb in the first 3 months. That's facts. That's scientific facts. That's actual facts. You know what I'm saying? That's actual facts. Ain't no. We already got this down. Okay. So yeah, we can get into the feminine. The feminine is always ruled in the background. Let the man rule now. The man has really turned the world upside down with the testosterone increasing, because they increase the testosterone when they do certain types of music, certain types of food. They add the testosterone, so everybody angry and want them mad. But today it was all peaceful at this event. Yeah. So what I was saying about the Sabines, because it's part of it. We made deals with these Anunnakis in exchange for the gold that was in our land. They said the gold was good right there in our land, and we said, all right, we'll do a business with you, but we want something in exchange. And they said, what we want? We want the technology you got. We don't want to just know. We don't want to just get your shit and just fly it. We want to know how to build it ourselves, so we can build it for ourselves, and that's part of it. And those tablets of how to build those, and keep in mind, like I said, we say beams were coming back and forth over here, and over here, which is why you got the helicopters named after the Native American tribes. Because we landed on these mounds. The mounds, if you look at them, they're really helicopter landing pads. That's what they really are for Chinooks. And it tells you in the Bible that Enki and them was using this. They call them whirlwinds. They were using these whirlwinds to scatter the children of Israel. They used the whirlwinds to scatter people across the earth. So they were taking people because they were working the mines over here. Keep in mind, we broke this down. A lot of that shit might go over people's head. But we're going to keep it clean, YouTube. Keep in mind, after the pole shift, Inky and them said that over here in the Great Beyond, they call this land the Great Beyond, America, right, which includes South America. But they were really talking about where the Great Lakes at. They dug out the Great Lakes. The Anunnakis dug out the Great Lakes because there was a whole bunch of gold that just popped up when the pole shift happened. It was just nuggets laying on the ground and over by Michigan area, right? Just nuggets laying on the ground. And then Pt.2 got in his plane, and then Pt.2 had a B-2 bomber, like what you call a B-2 bomber, where he could drop nuclear weapons. That's what he dropped on. And then Pt.2, the one dropped a bomb on Sodom and Gomorrah, or what they call in Sodom and Gomorrah. It wasn't called Sodom and Gomorrah, but they used nuclear style weapons against each other. These Anunnakis, atomic bombs and shit, right? But after the pole shift happened, after Noah's flood. It was more people that survived than just Noah now. It was people that survived over here in the Great Beyond, because Enlil and them found them later when they said, oh, there's people that survived over here. And it was Cain seed, right? It was some of Cain's seed. They said it was some of Cain's descendants, right? That had survived over here because they had built a great canoe. There's a story over here about them building an ark over here too. And I think that was Enlil that told them, see, Enki told Noah to build an ark. Utnapishtim is his name. He built and saved his people, right? But then over here, I believe Enki backdoored him too, because Enki told Enlil made Inky swear that he wasn't going to save the people, right? But Inky, he never did swear with him, and he still kept the rules because he spoke through Noah. He spoke to Noah through a curtain, through a tent, right? And then he left the information on a tablet on the ground when he walked up the tent to build a ship, right? To build this really was a submarine, right? So they can go underwater, right? And he told them, and they had collected all the germs, like the DNA from these different animals, from the female and male. And it really was test tubes that they had on the ship, not actual animals. They did have actual animals that they were actually eating though, like lamb. They had lambs there on that real lamb. But they also had the DNA from all these creatures. But getting back to what I was saying, when the pole shift happened, it was just nuggets laying on the mountains over here in America. And so then Pt.2 came back and reported to Enlil. He said, "Hey," he said, "Man, he almost like he was running, but he really drove a yacht, right? He had to catch his breath." He said, "Man, it's nuggets the size of big nuggets just laying on the ground over here." So the Anunnakis came over here and started digging out where they start mining gold right there where you got the Great Lakes. That's where the Great Lakes come from. They really deep because the Anunnakis were digging mines right there. But back to what I'm saying about the mounds. If you read the Bible, it says that God scattered them with a whirlwind. He scattered people around the earth. He scattered people around the earth with a whirlwind, right? That whirlwind is what you call today a Chinook. A Chinook helicopter where you can load 50 people up on that joint and fly them over. And Enlil had nuclear powered helicopters, so they ain't got to be refueled for 25 years. He could drive it around for 25 years without having to put fuel in it. So he'll load them people up to the helicopter, fly them over here, land on they built these mounds so they can land down on, let the people go down the ladder, just like on a helicopter landing pad at a hospital or something. And they go down the pad and he tell them what to do. Hey, you got to get over here. I want you to. He bring them over here to mine. They was mining gold over here. They were spreading people around the earth with a helicopter, whirlwinds, to dig the gold. Right. So we don't think people got under the impression, like we told y'all, that whirlwind it was a spirit. No, it was a helicopter that spins. The blades spin like this when it comes down. We got to keep saying this so you can get the reality of this, of this. There's not no God and all that like you think. It's regular shit that's happening right now. The Bible is reality right now. The Bible is reality right now as far as what the Anunnakis was already doing, everything. The Yahwehs, the Elohims, for niggas that don't like that, the Lord God. Right? For niggas that don't like the Lord God, we got Yahweh Elohims. Yahweh means those who know good from bad. Yahweh is like a landlord, like a being that's over these lords. He got higher rank. Then you see, because it's different ranks. You got Lord of Lords. That means that he a Yahweh of Yahwehs, like Yahweh being Yahweh. Right? So he a Yahweh of Yahwehs, and then you got Lord God. That's Yahweh Elohim. So he'll be over your gods. Then you got regular Elohims, which is what most of y'all are. A lot of y'all are regular Elohims. And then some of y'all Yahweh Elohims. And some of y'all Yahwehs are Yahwehs. There's only really a couple people that got that title. That title is very rare. Yahweh or Yahwehs. That's the being that's over the Yahwehs. Enki was a Yahweh. He Enlil was a Yahweh. Anu is higher than all them niggas, right? Anu is an Elion El, the Most High God, the being that's the highest. So them niggas all got to answer to Anu in the end, right? And that's what they mad about. They say this little nigga Sananda, calm down how he talked too much. He told these people, he gave these people the game. He told them the game. He told them who we are. Is Atlantis under the water? Nah, Atlantis got teleported. All right, so what's under the Bermuda Triangle was part of the city, right? It was where the power source. We had this landing pad, right? Because with Atlantis, go watch the movie Stargate Atlantis. right? Atlantis was a laboratory that was designed by Mother Hoover a long time ago. But Tahuti now built a new one once we relocated in Orion star system. Cause like I said, okay, all right. So we broke off when we left Riz, we broke off. Some people went to Arcturus, some people went to Pleiades, they became known as the Pleiades. Some people went to Arcturus, they became known as the Arcturians. Some people went to Orion. The one particular group, which is our family, the one that were the rat tails, because our nana said that Inky and his people were the rat tails. That's she cut my mama cut mine off because she liked the Inky, but she didn't like Murdoch. She don't like Murdoch, right? But Ra, she don't like Ra, right? Because Ra, she blamed Ra for the death of his brother Osiris, who also name was Damuzi, right? But we're gonna get back to that part. But what was I at? The Anarchies. Yeah, so all the stuff that we doing now. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat, man. We're gonna go hard tonight. We in the A, man. We're gonna go hard tonight. We just getting started. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're in the building. If you want to show us some love for our B-Day yesterday, hit us on the Cash App at the Young Elder. I can't put nothing in the chat because I'm on the phone. It won't let me do. I don't know how to put it in the type in the chat. But if you got any questions, hit us, man. Because like the questions you asked, it's still. Oh, y'all talking about Atlantis? Okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Thank you. You can't handle the truth. Atlantis was a mothership the size of Manhattan. And it was tall, like tall in the buildings on Manhattan. And it's a laboratory. And you go watch the movie, like I say, Stargate Atlantis, you'll see what it was. It's a ship that was built by, okay, that's where I'm going. All right. So Inky family left and went to Orion. And we landed, it was 9 planets, and it's 3 stars. If you look up into Orion's belt, it's 3 stars there, right? The middle star has 9 planets rotating around it. And it's a huge, that sun, I think it's called Almond, I think it was a minute. It's Al Matak. I know, man, one of them is Mintaka, and then the middle one ain't Mintaka. But the middle one is 20 times bigger than our sun. And then this sun you see right here, right? And this is a new star system that we just built. We told y'all the cycles of the sun. The first cycle of a sun is a blue star. That's a new sun. Then as it cools off, it turns orange, and then as it cools off, it turns red. These are the main 3 phases of a sun. I mean, red, yellow, and blue. So it's blue, yellow, then red. That's the 3 primary colors. So as a sun is getting older, it's turned like your sun is orange finna get turned red because it's older than Orion. This star system is older than Orion. So Orion was a star system we built, and we went there, and the middle star is actually 9 stars in Orion's belt, not 3. You see 3 because your eyes, because it's like it's 1,344 light years away, right? So you only can see the 3 stars, but it's actually one big giant star in the middle. That's 20 times bigger than your sun. Then it's 3 suns rotating. I think it's Mintaka. Then the other sun is like 4 suns rotating next, like a quadruple solar system. So it's like really 9 suns. Okay, I'm gonna get Rob back on when we get the internet back up, so we can get on Zoom, StreamYard. I'm gonna get it. Man, talking about the car Raw tomorrow. Check on him. So Rod gonna be back on once we get the internet back up. We're gonna get in touch with Rod. And I'm trying to get the brother Red Pill on too, right? Cause I just met up with the brother Red Pill today at the event, and I seen the brother Blue Pill. Shout out to brother Red and Blue Pill. They said the brother Rich was there, but I didn't see Rich. Maybe he'll be there tomorrow. Shout out to brother Black Magic Rich, right? Rich was there too. They had a lot of good vegan food. It was peace. It was love. It was real good energy there. I love that energy that was there. My people. I'm glad I came to the A, man. But back to what I was saying. It's 9 planets rotating that middle star, and one of the planets we named Atlantis, but it's spelled with an X, right? And they say Richard Jamal was talking about it, and I was the first one to say it, so I know Richard Jamal listened to my stuff because I told him that it was the planet. Go back to the Galactic Family of Life tapes 5 years ago when I told him about the planet, the 9 planets, and the planet Atlantis that we lived on, and we became known as the Atlanteans. And this was coming down from Murdoch, who is Amun, that's Inky's son. Then he had another son named Nergal. Then he had another son named Ningazita. Ningazita is who you call in Tahuti, or Thor, or Hermes, in these different languages. And then he had another son named Osir, which was his baby, was not with his baby son, but he was his younger son amongst the Anunnakis, right? And the Watusis were considered as Anunnakis because they were sent down by Anu. See, it was different types of Anunnakis, not just Inky them. Inky actually was a crossbreed too, though. Inky was half Dragonian. His mother was Dragonian. But Enlil was full-blooded Anunnaki. Inky was a half-blood Anunnaki. And then he had sons with one son amongst the Watusis. That would be Osiris. And then he had a son, other sons amongst the humans, like Noah, Adapha. He had daughters too, like Eve was his daughter. He had daughters amongst them too, right? We talk about this in the Anunnaki Chronicles. Yeah, all that is just a mind game, a mind thing. Where it's really against galactic law to do that to third dimensional beings, to bend their reality, to make them see what you want. Reptilians been doing it and walking around like humans. But we chose to live on this planet Atlantis. We became known as the Atlanteans. And then when we got to Atlanteans, and we had another planet called Mentis. When we got to, we had set up a laboratory on Mentis, on the planet Mentis, where Inky was making new crafts for our family. That's when we started building the pyramid crafts, because we had the Hindu influence in our family then through the Watusis, through Cyrus and all them. So we set up Atlantis, the planet, and Mentis, the planet. Inky, who became known as Ptah in the Atlantean culture, or the Egyptian culture, because we didn't really call ourselves Egyptians. Egyptian means burnt face, Egyptos, burnt face, right? Get that straight too. But what we did is he began designing these new crafts, Inky, where they were pyramid-shaped crafts. That's the ones they show you in the Stargate SG-1, where they show you the pyramid. That's the ones that Inky started designing. Ptah started designing the new crafts on Mentis, the planet Mentis, and then we hit a wall. We ran into a wall where we couldn't go no higher in technology. And so we were wondering what happened. And then we found out that our karma came back from what had happened on Earth with the nuclear war and the advancing of the humans and all that. So in order to fix that, they said that we had to come back to Earth and teach the humans. So what we did is we said, all right, we're going to go back to Earth. So we left our planet Atlantis and Orion star system and came to Earth. That's why the pyramids line up with Orion and all that. It's all connected, right? When we got here, that's when Tahuti began setting up this Ningazita. Murdoch had a different agenda. When he got here and saw the people had advanced, they became more advanced because of the Inky mixing the Anunnakis mixing their genetics, right? And they really was about to take off, right? These humans. And all they needed is an extra boost. So Ningazita was here to give them the extra boost. But Murdoch said, nah, we ain't give them this extra boost. We're going to stall as long as we can. And what we're going to do is we're going to use them as hosts. And so they said we're going to use them as physical bodies, take their physical bodies and use them so that we can manipulate this RAM, and we're going to take the energy. Because the reptilians had already had this plan, but Murdoch said that was what we're going to do. We're going to take them as hosts, because we needed bodies every 200 years when we was working on Earth. But if we was in the galactics land in the laying in the machine called a sarcophagus that Ra created. Ra designed the stargates and the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus is a machine they lay in, they heal their body. They show you that on Stargate SG-1, right? But to make a long story short, well, not to make a long story short, because I don't want to make it short. I want to give you the whole story. So we came back, boom, started setting up all the schools. Niggas, they set the school in the center of the earth first, which was under the order of Melchizedek, and he really didn't call himself that at that time. He called himself Amen Ra, Menti, right? That's why they call that first school they set up, which is in Shambhala, the halls of Amenti. This is before to Ningazita Tahuti written had started scribing the holy tablets, which you call the emerald tablets. The emerald tablets, right? Yeah, the Fuzzy Wuzzies out. They was already like the fall. They was already here when the Anunnaki, when the Atlanteans came back, because the first people that they seen was the Afar people. The first people that we seen when we came was the Afar people, and Murdoch took Afar avatar as his avatar, and that's why you see him in the holy tablets where he in a Afar avatar, and his eyes glow in the holy tablets, just like in the on the movie The Goa'uld, their eyes glow. See, Bala put the holy tablets out before the Stargate movie, and their eyes glow in the holy tablets, and they show you their eyes glow in it because of the Goa'uld. We put a book out called Orion Group about that, man, breaking it down. We doing the upgrade to that book. Oh yeah, we trying to, yeah. So Melchizedek is not Tahuti, although he had that title Tahuti because he was the first one that had a title Tahuti, right? All right, so Melchizedek is Amen, the angel Michael, El Kadush, who visited me last night, the green one. That's what I got to tell you. I seen El Kadush last night when I was in there laying on the floor, sleep, and I had fell into a deep sleep. And then for some reason, my eyes just bust open like that. My eyes just bust open out of a deep sleep. And I just woke up. And then I looked like this at the door, and he was standing in the door. He real tall. He got to be like at least between 6'7" feet. He might be a little bit shorter than 7 feet. But he between 6'5" and 7 feet tall. And he had his head covered like this, like with the little thing that I got, like the Jewish head cover. He had like a Jewish head cover on that was gold and white, but he had a green aura. He was green, like he looked like he was green around him. And I looked at him. I said, "Oh, I seen him." Then he jerked back like that, and then because he know that I seen him. But I talked to him telepathically as he was leaving. And he was telling me why he was here. He was here to check on me and tell me that I was safe because I was worried about being in a new town and all that. And so like I was outside washing my truck, and then one of those white plants, the little angel flowers. When I thought about like motherfucker try to assassinate me, but then that thing that white angel flower went up and then landed on top of my head. And that let me know that the earth energy is protecting me. The energy, the plants. I'm here for the plants. I'm here for all living organisms to advance all living organisms. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. But not to get sidetracked. Yeah, I saw El Kadush last night. He was in my house, in this house last night. The green one. I saw him in that form, in the El Kadush form, where he had the same way he looked that Baba got him in the thing. I saw that image. I saw him in my house. Like I said, he tall too. He got to be like 6'7". I was thinking that he was like at least 6'7", 6'8", almost 7 foot tall. Yeah, the green light. What else I was gonna tell you? We get back. So yeah, Atlantis. We're still talking about Atlantis, and this is part of why we must ascend, and all the information is going to play a part in our ascension. When we went to the Galactic Council, charged us with coming back here to raise the conscience of the humans, and we here doing that right now. We here. If you really listen to us, you pretty much you raised up. You see the difference in your knowledge if you've been following us. Yeah, so the first school they set up was the Hall of Amenities, which is in Shambhala. And keep in mind, they were the T's, as in Tahu T's. If you keep in mind about the Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti chart, it goes Do, which is the root chakra, Re, which is the sun, which is the solar plex, and then it goes up to no, Re is the Re. Ray is the solar plex, but then you got the sacred chakra. Sacred chakra, but it goes up. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. T is the crown chakra. T's are the oldest family. The T's, because we all sound, nigga, coming from the drum. I told y'all we all sound coming from the drum. So those are the seven sounds, the seven spirits of God, the seven candlesticks. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Ain't no do at the end. They added that part. The does are, John Doe, Jane Doe. Nobody knows who they are. That's why when they put you in there and they don't know your name, they put John Doe on you or Jane Doe. Those people who nobody seem to know. And they the dirty Moors who move off the root chakra, who hide in the background. Let me give me some water. Let me get some water. Talking a lot, you get the dry mouth. Hold on, we're going in the dark real quick. Yeah, my new spot is lit, bro. My new spot lit. It's way better than the other spot. And I got my little office area right here. You already know what we on. We on the alkaline, bro. We're on the alkaline. I bought a big ass jug today. Oh yeah, let me shout that dude out too. I'm gonna go get that water and shout him out. Let me get that. I'm gonna shout that dude out that I bought the water from. Not this water. I bought another gallon of water from another dude that was out at the event. Okay, all right. That's what I'm gonna tell you. All right, so. The T's are the oldest family. That's Tahuti. That's Amenti, which is what they was calling them, Amenti. Like Subahudi said, the halls of Amenti. So that became the order of Melchizedek. Then it became the Knights of the Round Table. Then it became the Knights of Templar, the Knights of Michael. All these secret orders spun from this secret school, the craft of Amun-Ra, when it came to the surface, the ancient Kemet. But it spun from the halls of Amenti, who is Murdoch, Enki's older son, and Ningazita and Nergal, who became known. He was the second Anubis. The first Anubis, the Mansa Musa no Queen. Indeed. But I think they messed the timelines up when they say Queen Khalifa, because they got the documents. And I don't want to get sidetracked, but they got documents of Queen Khalifa arguing her territory in Germany. And I was trying to, I was trying to figure out why what they did in that, when you read it and it plays out, they wrote her off as a crazy lady, and they took her land during the Berlin Conference. So I'm trying to figure out what time frame was Queen Khalifa in, because Mansa Musa was in 1300s. So I'm thinking that Queen Khalifa could be a descendant, because I at one point I was tracing her history, Khalifa history, and she could go back, because Khalifa is like Arabic, right? It's like a Syriac Arabic, and these Moors were speaking that dialect, Mansa Musa them. Yeah, so. It says the Cal where he got it. Now he didn't get the gold from California. Well, that territory, some of that territory might have been considered as Khalifa territory because that's Clinton with the Ashurs. It was a particular tribe that was there now, so that could be part of Khalifa's land, but. He got the gold from Central America, from the Aztecs. I mean, not Mansa Musa didn't get to go. What happens is, as Abu Bakr, his brother, sails over here first, and he got to go. They thought he was Inky, Quetzalcoatl, the turn of Quetzalcoatl, because Inky had started stealing the gold when he found out that, see, Enlil came down, right? Let me tell you this part. Enlil came down and took over the gold operation. If you watch the Anarchy Chronicles that we put out, we put 12 series tapes out. Go check them out. Go watch the one Enlil take over gold operation. All right, later on down the line, because the Anarchies was coming back and forth, right, over the thousands of years. One year to them is 3,600 years of your time. One day to them is 30 years of your time, and 1 month is 300 years for them. 1 month is 300 years. So they live. So that's why Melchizedek, Murdoch, Ra, he goes all through the Bible. The Bible is only a couple thousands of years. 1 year to them is 3,600 years. So that's why Melchizedek pop up and out the Bible, in and out, because he got a longer lifespan than regular humans. These Anunnakis, right? But let me get to that. So they set up the temple in the center of the earth. They start abducting people and making them a part of this priesthood and taking them to the center of the earth and taking them to school. And then letting them come back to the surface to start teaching the humans. They tried that at first, but when these humans would come back to the surface, these brothers of the darkness, that's who Ningazita referred to them as. They really were reptilians, right? Humanoid reptilians. These Dragonians, Tanushnim, all right? Tanushnim were the brothers in darkness. These Dragonians, who, when these priests would come back to the surface to teach the humans, they would kill them or cut them up or something crazy, right? Real shit. So they said, damn, our message is not making it back to the surface. So niggas either said, we gotta go to the surface personally and do it. So keep in mind, they had already had the pyramids built. Ningazita built the pyramids after the pole shifts, so that the pole shift wouldn't happen no more. That's why we ain't gonna have another pole shift, right? They ain't gonna destroy the world with fire or with water no more. It's gonna be destroyed with fire this time. Great balls of fire, the boulders they got in South America, right? You know about that. Bible talking about that. So, like I say, Ningazita prevented the pole shift this time not to happen again. When he put the weights, keep in mind the pyramids weigh thousands of tons, millions of tons. One stone could weigh 300 tons. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So do 2,000 times 300. You get the pounds on that one stone, right? And they got granite. Ain't no granite for 3,000 miles for what that granite is. You think it wasn't? If the Africans build pyramids, why they ain't still building them now? Right, the Anunnakis built those pyramids. Ningazita. The humans probably built them under the information of what these Anunnakis gave them. But they ain't building the pyramids now unless they Nuwapians or Sabines. We can build pyramids. We got it in our genetics because we Inky's kids. Right? We built the black stone. We built the black pyramid in Macons. My family built the black pyramids in Macons, right? The Nuwapians and the Sabines, right? Okay, so let's keep going. So niggas either start coming to they had already at the pyramids in Giza. That wasn't no school at first. It actually was being used as a command station, which they call Nibuki, which were Inky them and Enlil them were using it as a command station to send messages back and forth to Nuru, and they had devices like Bluetooth, like the Sphinx was a Bluetooth device where it would send power to all these stations. It was you can tap in Bluetooth to the Sphinx, just like you Bluetooth your phone now. Imagine if you had back then you had a device like we got now. The Anunnakis had these devices like we got now. You call them smartphones. And they can Bluetooth off the Sphinx. The Sphinx was a Bluetooth. And they had these crystals set up. Ningazita had these crystals set up a certain way to power this shit. And they had granite and water running out. It was a whole, High power shit, man. I'm gonna tell you, Tahuti, Ninkazita is a high powered alchemist. He had granite on the bottom of the pyramids, and it's still down there today. Some of it they dug out, and he had a stream running under the pyramid. So with that water going across the granite, it was sending static electricity up through the pyramid through these shafts that he had, and it'd go up to this certain chamber where he had these 3 stones set in a certain, these huge stones like Clark. He had a Clark's crystal, and he had 2 more other stones in there, big huge stones, and the static electricity would electrify these crystals. And then they would the laser the beam from these 3 crystals would combine and shoot straight up to the top of the capstone of the pyramid, and it had a gold capstone on it to harness the energy. And then when the ships would pull over and get this plasma energy, which it was creating plasma energy. That's what it was. It was plasma. He was regenerating plasma energy, and they would pull over and charge their ships up. That's what it was like a fuel station for electronics and power and shit. That's what the pyramids at Giza. It wasn't a school right like that. All right. So actually, Gazeta set the school up over here first in Atlantis, and then he set the city up of the guards. Right. You can read the Emerald Tablets. He tell you all this in the Emerald Tablets. Right. He said that he said this. He was at Atlantis first, and then the Brothers of Darkness, these reptilians, attacked Atlantis. And they sunk the landing pad, right? The ship had a magnetic force field. Ningazita built this magnetic. It was they had already had it for Nubaru. It's a magnetic force field that protect their ship, right? And they show you this on Stargate Atlantis, this force field on the ship, right? So Ningazita built this force field. So they attacked that ship, but they didn't penetrate. And so what they did is they sunk the landing pad. The ship got teleported out of here back to its memory galaxy, which was the galaxy Pegasus. They teleported the ship out of here, but the landing pad, there was a power station that was powering the pyramids that was over in the Bermuda Triangle. Tahuti and them built limestone pyramids. So it's limestone pyramids down there under the Bermuda Triangle. And these limestone pyramids, they were being powered. The power station that this ship sat on was charged. The ship was being powered by these pyramids, right? This Atlantis. But when the Brothers of Darkness, boom, they came and sunk it. But Tahuti didn't leave. Tahuti said that he wasn't going to leave, but he let a certain group of people that were manning the ship, they teleported the ship out of here. What Tahuti did, and he brought 32, he had 32 masters with him. When Tahuti came back to teach to the surface, he trained 32 masters, and he apprentice, and he brought them up to the surface with him, and they was in Atlantis. But when they got attacked, Tahuti ended up getting in his ship. He had a ship. He took off and got the 32 masters, and they loaded all the books that the hard copies of the books that Tahuti was writing, because we had a printing press in Atlantis where we were printing these. Tahuti would write the books, print them up, and make different copies of them and send them to the different spots all over the earth, to the different schools that he was setting up, right? So that people can learn the information. So we had the first print press was set up in Atlantis, where Tahuti was printing all the books, right? But then when we got attacked, before the place sunk, we unloaded the books onto Tahuti's ship, and then we took off and went over to ancient Kemet and landed by the Sphinx. The Sphinx was already there. But why? Because the Sphinx was built when the pole shift during the Leo age. The Atlantis recently just got sunk not too long ago. The Leo age is when the pole shift happened. The Taurus age is when the creation of the humans. The creation of the upgrading of it wasn't the creation of the humans. It really was a creation of the Homo sapien, really the human, right? But it was an upgrade of the beings that was already here, the Lulu Amalus. This was during the Leo age when they created the Sphinx. The first space that was on there was Ningazita's face, Tahuti. And then Enki said, after Osiris got killed, Enki said that he wanted to change the face to Osiris' face and commemorate him. So they made it into Osiris' face. So the Sphinx face is really Osiris' face. Right? It's really Osiris, but that shit is high power. It's a Bluetooth. That Sphinx is a Bluetooth. It's an ancient anarchy Bluetooth. They still over there trying to figure out how to activate it right now. They just ain't told you that part, right? Because they can't gonna be able to activate it without them crystals, without those 3 crystals in that pyramids. You gotta have it's really 9 crystals total. It's 3 in each pyramid, right? And they gotta have the capstone and the limestone on the outside. They already chiseled all the limestone off. That's why it looked like that. They used to have limestone going down the side of that pyramid. Then used to have a gold capstone on it. It should be lit up at night, like it used to glow in the dark. Those pyramids used to glow in the dark at night in the ancient Kemet. But now the Arabs they desecrated it. But what I was saying about the schools, where I'm still talking about the schools, right? Part of this right here, part of the Ascension, a part what you must know, a part of the Ascension, right? Yeah, water all over me and shit. Yeah, so what happens is he took off, went over to the Sphinx, put the ship a mile down under the Sphinx. They still over there trying to figure out. They know it's what is it, but they can't. They know it's there because they got certain type of technology. They can see the ship now, right? Because it's a fifth dimensional ship. So they can see the ship down now. They just can't figure out how to get to it and activate it. They already dug down to where it's it. They just can't figure out how to access it, to get inside of it, because it's a fifth dimensional ship. They got technology to see it, but they can't get in it, right? And you got to have a certain key, and they got to be activated by certain beings. It's only 32. It's only 32 beings with the DNA, to be able to activate these ships. They show you that in the Stargate movie when the dude sit in the chair and they activate because he got a certain blood type, a certain type of DNA, right? But let me keep going. So we land over there, boom, we bury the books, the library, we make a library right there under the Sphinx, and we put the hard copies of all the information. And this was information on how to make helicopters, submarines, how to make, how to do all the healing, how to heal just about every disease, right? It was information on just science and alchemy that like you never believe, right? And I'm going to speak the story up, then I go back to that part, right? This is where they get Alexandria from. When Alexandria, the so-called great, they invaded ancient Kemet, try to find those books, and they did get a lot of them. And it was a whole bunch of copies, right? Because remember I told you we were making copies of these books. You got to increase your, you got to read my Ascension manual. It breaks all that down. You got to increase your brain capacity to 96%. Really, only thing I got to do is get you to 40%. Really 18. If I can get you to 18, I can pass you at 18 because we'll give you the boost. We'll give you the boost due to the reptilian influence. You'll get the boost. If I can get you to 18, activate your highest senses, and then once I get you to 18, it'll be easier to get you to 40. And then once we get you had to go to another planet. The next school is the planet called Neba, where you go and you sit amongst these ascended masters in the fifth dimension, and you get the last. It's like 56%, and then you go to 96%. Once you get to 96% brain capacity, they show you in the movie Lucy. Go watch the movie Lucy. As she increase her brain capacity, in the end, she become everywhere. She ascend. So that pretty much answers the question. Go watch the movie Lucy. Or you probably already watched the movie Lucy. Just remember the movie Lucy. As her brain capacity increased, she became more intelligent. And then, boom, she became everywhere. Right? Shout out Fourth Elder, Big Black Chief, Fourth Elders. I think I'm saying that right. Drop it in the chat, brother. Love. What I was going to say. Okay, so... Yeah, so keep in mind, we had a print. We took the print press with us, and so the plan was got to ancient Kemet, and we started printing the book, making copies of these books. So when they took Alexandria, they didn't get the original hard copies, which was down under the Sphinx at that time, right? They got the copies of these copies that we were making from the printing press that we had in ancient Kemet. Keep in mind, Mansa Musa went to ancient Kemet and bought thousands of books and took them back to Timbuktu and set up his own school in Timbuktu, which is still right now there today, right? he went to Kemet and bought those books. Why? Because we had a printing press in ancient Kemet where we were printing up books from Tahuti, from Atlantis, right? So what we did is that with those books, all the books that Tahuti had the hardback copies for from Atlantis, we said we set up another print press and we started back making copies and sending them out. But the reptilians, they was back then they would take the books and they would water them down and tamper them down and give them translations of the Tahuti books. They'll give them just like they're doing now. They give you translations of the Bible, translations of this, translations of that. That's the reptilians doing to stop the original potent information that was the first original copy of the information. So yeah, so even back then when Tahuti was making copies of the books, you had people trying to sabotage the writings and do translations, and then that's where a lot of that came in. But when they invaded Alexandria, that was the above ground library of copies of the books that we had already had in the under the Sphinx. And so they started burning they took one copy of each or two copies of each of the originals and burned all the rest, made a big ass pile to burn down Alexandria, right? So they started burning all these books. The ones they kept the copies of, they took them, and then the dirty Moors, because he been minding the dirty Moors involved with this, is the Etruscans, because they the ones, they part of these people that were trying to prevent certain information, right? I don't know, because they hated the Anunnakis, both sides of the family. They hated Murdoch because they say Murdoch played them. They hated Inky. They hated Enlil too. So they was against all the Anunnakis, these 200 fallen. Now going back, so they started burning down these books, but the ones they took, these books, some of them, the ones that they stole, end up in the Vatican, under the Vatican, in 24-inch thick walls and 24-hour security. Why they gotta have 24-hour security on these books? Why? Because that's the books that Tahuti, they got copies of the shit that Tahuti put out. Now, if you're a 33rd degree Freemason, like the Wrights brothers, right, who said they invented the helicopter, he invented a airplane. No, you ain't inventing no airplane. You got 33rd degree Freemason, so you can get access to the Vatican book library, right? You can get access to the Vatican library. So you down there, you read a book on how Tahuti made the airplanes, and you go and you copy it and say, oh yeah, the Wrights brothers invented. White people don't invent nothing. Shout out to my white people though. We ain't racist in there. You know what I'm saying? And you're not really white. You see what I'm saying? That's another thing. That's really we can get to that. We familiar with the more science too. Not really white folks. Nobody is really white. That's all status quo. Status quo, man. Not nationality. All right, we can get to that. So shout out to my free white mans. Raw don't like the free white man. Raw don't like them. They're the ones that turned us in to the people, right? Or they are the people, right? So those books end up in the Vatican, man, and the books about how to make helicopters, how to mix all kind of high power herbs, how to walk through walls, do chants and walk through walls, how to do chants and be invisibility. A lot of the stuff that you're thinking a lot of the high power shit that's really real, magnetism, how to control gravity, using chants and shit. Because how you think they was moving those big ass stones 3,000 miles without being able to alter gravity? Right? So that's how they get them books. Those are books that Ningazita wrote to try to educate the humans on the planet, but they want to prevent that information. The reptilian auras who need your worship to ascend to the ninth. They're trying to get to the seventh dimension. They trapped on the sixth. So they did is they used the nomos to set up this religious thing. The nomos actually really didn't have bad intentions when they came teaching their shit, but the auras were twisted up and said, now we're gonna hide this information. We ain't gonna let niggas either raise the consciousness of the planet to the fifth dimensional planet, to who they raise the information on the planet. We're gonna block that. We're gonna hide these books. We're gonna translate and rewrite and change over and make niggas white, that's black, and do all this shit to keep niggas in a third dimensional state. And so the church is ran by the bad guys. Don't forget that. That's why they hiding those books. Because if they got those books out, you'll be having your telepathic energy back. You'll be having a lot of your powers and wisdom back that you had, that you're supposed to get by way of galactical law, galactical order. It's gonna happen eventually. They just try to slow us down. And now they trying to burn that library down and try to say, oh, we don't know what y'all talking about. It wasn't no library under the Vatican. You know you stole niggas either books. And then they went over to they went up on the Sphinx, started digging it out, getting those books, taking them to India. The ones that the original hardback copies, the original hardback copies got preserved by a secret order in India. That's something we ain't gonna say too much on that. But I think Rod know about it. Rod the one know about that. About those people, that secret order of Tahuti that was in India. They came when they got the books out of Alexandria. These people came and took the books from under the Sphinx because they knew they was going to eventually go down there. And they took those original hardback copies and hid them in a secret place in the mountains in India. Right, so the original copies are still preserved by this secret order. And they can levitate. These guys they know how to levitate. They know how to do invisibility. They know how to hold their breath. Tahuti taught you how to do this thing where you can hold your breath for 30 minutes underwater. These monks, they know how to hold their breath 30 minutes underwater, slow their heartbeat down. All that's in those books that Ningazita had put out. See, immortality is just that's just a shit that's like a newspaper or something and that's like a high power book. But that book, and so Tahuti had thousands of books. Just like he wrote, they wrote books in his life, thousands of books, thousands, if not millions of books. And even the ones that they had under the Sphinx, that's not the original copies, because we had made copies. Every book that Ningazita wrote, he made a copy of it and sent the original print to the center of the earth. It's a library in the Argon Ocean. In the center of the earth in Shambhala. So it's a copy of those books there too, and a copy of them in the halls of the Minty. So it's more copies of those books, but like I said, the ones that was under the Sphinx got preserved by those monks in India. Hey, what you mean, CJ? Well, we're in the city. Hey, drop your questions in the chat, man. We've been on an hour already. We'll take questions and answers, and then we'll get out. We'll come back on this. We'll do part 3 tomorrow. Cause it'll be Sunday after we come back from that show. And we're gonna probably do some live footage at that show tomorrow. Hey, yeah, I know where I have to go. But I can go anywhere, man. Anywhere in my city. Young L will be posted right in the hood, right in the heart of the projects. Right in the, like that, sitting out there chilling. And it's the energy that you give off, man. It depends on how people treat you. It's the energy. You can go anywhere if I'm a real street nigga, man. I can go anywhere. I'm gonna treat you just like I want to be treated. I'm gonna treat everybody just like I want to be treated. So if you go to a place, you can go anywhere if you're gonna treat people. If you like to be treated good, you like to be treated with respect, and you go and you treat other people with respect. Now you got some crazy niggas out there, but we ready for that too. Trust me, we ready for the crazy niggas too. But if you treat people how you want to be treated, usually nowadays it's good energy out here. Usually you can go. I go wear my jewelry on, everything, man. We got too much good energy, man. I relate to street niggas anyway. Yeah, that's good extraterrestrials and that's bad. They call them in the Bible cherubims and seraphims. The cherubims supposed to be the bad ones, but that's really depending on perspective. Me, they said I was a cherubim, but then I chose when I joined the order of Melchizedek, I gained the other side, the benevolent side. So I'm leaning more to my benevolent side now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, newspapers. The holy tablets is still advanced. It's just that the holy tablets was for that time when it came. The holy tablets, if you ain't never read them, you need to read the holy tablets. But like I say, we already made the upgrades already. We did the Anunnaki Chronicle tapes. If you go watch the Anunnaki Chronicle tapes, that's pretty much the holy, like the Anunnaki story in a nutshell right there. And it's pretty much it's real detailed. Williams, which Williams? Which Williams? His last name Williams? I'm a Williams. Can you comment on white race? Who to study? Can you find white? And to keep the Tuskegee experiment was funded by the Dirty Moors. So look, so that's another thing people missing. See, when I got Rod Hayes, when Rod Hayes gave me his part, that ended the game right there. Rod Hayes is the end of the game. I'm telling you, he the end of the conjure. He that angel that put 1 foot on land and 1 foot on the water. That's land is the supreme law of the land, and then the water is maritime law. He ended the conjure war. Blow the trumpet. Hey, see the last name tapes. You got to go. I got 7 tapes out called "Tracing Your Ancestral History," and your name is on one of those lists in those 7 tapes. So go back and watch those 7 tapes. It's called "Tracing Your Ancestral History." It's on the video side. Go to the video side and watch the "Tracing Your Ancestral History" tapes. We put the last name. Says we all seen Joe Biden fall. Joe Biden that's an android. Androids malfunction sometimes. They trip and fall and run into walls and walk into, sometimes the electric doors don't open for them because they don't got no soul. So they walk right into a damn, because they don't got the same vision as we got. The point of church worship is the reptilian auras need worship, worship. The reptilian auras need your worship. They need your power. They need your energy. They eat this energy. They use it to ascend. So by you saying, hey, praising God and all this, thank you, all this shit, you giving your power over to the beast. It tells you that in the Injil, in the Revelations, where it says they give their power, they worship the name and the image of this beast, and they give the power over to this beast. That's what, when you worship and you don't know what you worship, you don't know what you worshiping, you really don't supposed to worship nothing. You really don't supposed to pray nothing. You're supposed to send meditations, send messages. We don't pray. Pray is like what tigers and lions do in the jungle. They prey on the less than fortunate. We don't do praying. We Sabines don't pray. We send messages. We meditate. We send signals. That thing of a nature. So people go to church to get high. That's what most people go to church to get high. Because keep in mind, when you go to church, they play the music, the pastor, Reverend Pork Chop, Reverend Hot Sauce, right? They play the organ and shit, and then you got what you call in your brain these hormones like serotonin, melatonin, and dopamine. Dopamine is when you smoke weed and get high, you increase your dopamine in your brain. That's what makes you get high. So when they go to church, when the pastor preaches up there, Jesus, hallelujah, and he hitting the organ and the drums, they playing all that in connection, it increases the melatonin and dopamine in your brain, and it gets you high. So most people go to church to get high. That's the truth. To get dopamine, because they don't smoke weed and all that. They don't get the Holy Ghost by getting smoke. See, they say you getting high when you smoking weed or whatever, right? That's because you're increasing the dopamine. Well, you also increase your dopamine when you go to church and listen to and all the music and shit, and they get high too. They getting high in another way. Yeah, so a combination of the keyboard, the drum, the guitar, the voice of the pastor, the raspy voice of the pastor. And he said that they said that's the Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost is dopamine and the combination of certain hormones being released in your brain. You also have adrenaline, but the adrenaline gland is right above the kidneys. It releases adrenaline to give you that rush where you can be shot or stabbed and still be, be able to maintain. Yeah, the organs, yeah, right? Your body is a musical instrument. Eardrums, heartbeat, organs, right? Just that's why they want to hit a buck. Yeah, right? So they can get some, hey, Vegan Jones, they go right after they get high. Rather they get high and release the dopamine at church, they go to the buffet and they eat some acidic fried chicken and shit at what's that place called? Golden Corral. Nubaru's already here. Nubaru been here since 2012. No, don't pray. Don't pray. Like I say, pray is a thing that you do. That people do in the jungle. That wild carnivores. Praying is for carnivores. People who are aggressive. They prey on people. As in predators. Right. So what you do is you meditate. You send messages to your ancestors who are the Elohims and the Yahwehs. Anu, you send your Anu, the God, the Father, the Great Father. We told you pray like this: Our Father in heaven. But they changed the word to pray. We didn't use the word pray in English. Jesus didn't speak English. He didn't use the word pray. This is can I call service? Hey, I don't know, man. It's gonna hit the earth. Is it going to hit the earth? Hey, nah, Nubaru ain't gonna hit the earth. Nubaru never hit Earth. What hit Earth was what it was Tiamat was the 4 fighter ships that were caught from Meldeck, the attack ships. One of the 3 or 4 of the attack ships hit and crashed down into Nubaru. Nubaru never hit Tiamat. Religious people need to read. Yeah, we are gods, right? It's right there, man. I mean, try to tell them like 25 times, ye are gods. Is it not written? Ye are gods. You are the God. And live them gods, but you God too. So what's a God to a God? What's a king to a king? What's a God to a non-believer? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's behind the sun right now. You can go out there with your camera phone at about 5:00 p.m. at your time. Hold your camera phone up to the left side of the sun and take a picture. You'll see Nubaru right behind it at about 5:00 p.m. Hey, they call you a devil if you say you're a God. The word devil is lived backwards. Keep in mind, we over here with dyslexia, man. In the ancient culture, they read right to left. We read left to right. So devil backwards is lived. Then you got evil the evil. You got to twist. See, all these are spell words. Words are spelled. You got to break. In order to break the spell, the word must be spelled. And the word God can mean, to me, God means guns, all, and drugs. Or gold, all, and drugs. Or good, wisdom, beauty, and strength, which is a German word. Yeah, man. Like I said, we up with it tonight, man. What time is it? They try to do everything the opposite of our order of the Most High. Yeah, indeed, man. They against the new, man. The moon looks bright here in the U.S. Yeah, you can go right there. There you go. There you go, CJ. Yeah, so yeah, God is a loose term, man. You know what I'm saying? But the word God is a known term. They say, oh no, you a God, but you a little G. They're gonna say, oh, they're using capital and lowercase. We didn't use capital and lower in the language that the Bible was translated in first. They didn't even use capital and lowercase letters. So it just say Elohim. It don't say God. It's a lowercase God, high case God. It say Elohim. Ain't no capital. The capital on that is just Elo, which is a singular. It's a singular and a plural. Elohim. It don't say gods with a little G or a big G. That's right. That's right. What you see is your reality. It says the moon has permanent dark and light sides. Yeah, it's only because, man, it's a lot of. I'm still doing more research on that, but Elijah Muhammad and Baba make mention of it too. He said that this crazy scientist blew the moon off. Now that the moon is like locked into the gravity on one side. It's like that's the side that he got. That moon was once part of Earth at one point, and then they got blew off right there. And then these Anunnakis came and put it there and hollowed it out. And they actually got cities inside of the moon, huge cities, like these converted. They show you on the movie Moonfall, where they actually on Apollo 20 they went inside of the moon because the nanotechnology of these graphites, which is the same thing they got now down here, is trying to take over the planet now through your cell phones. Remember in the movie Moonfall, this black shit was attacking their cell phones, being controlled by the cell phones. Once they turn the cell phones off or smash it, the shit stop attacking them. So what they telling us? Look, they told us in that movie. They said they showed you the graphene attacking these people because they got these phones, and then they show when they get rid of the phones, turn them off and smash them, this nanotechnology stop attacking them. So what they telling us? We being attacked right now by nanotechnology, and all we got to stop it is smash our phones. Because he says, and see, he mentions the color red. Yeah. It depends. Like I say, it's good side and bad side to all colors. We're working with the root chakras because we got to start from the ground up. So when we went to this event today, since we're in a new town, right? We starting out with the red because the red is the slowest traveling color. So I had to be moving slow in order to get on people's vibration, see where their vibration at. Now that I say their vibration, they really on when I went out there and seen the people and got amongst them, they really on a yellow vibration. So I might wear yellow tomorrow. Or they really on a solar plex chakra energy out there at that event. So I might wear yellow tomorrow, or I might wear black and yellow tomorrow. So I'm wearing red today because we starting out from scratch. We starting from the ground up. That's the root chakra. I don't even like red. I like blue. You know what I'm saying? Blue and black is my favorite colors. But red today, because we start, like I say, from the roots. We're working our way from the ground up here. The people are still behind. That's why we came to do this tape. People are still behind. They still in their intelligence. They hadn't. They still. Some of them look like they below 10%. One dude had a mask on his whole damn face out there. You couldn't even. I don't see how he was walking around. Some people are still below 10%, man, in brain capacity. So we see that we gotta put in a little bit more work and actually get boots on the ground, because the real people is out in the streets. The people that I need to get to is out in the streets. So we got to the people on YouTube and all that. We need to get to the people on the streets. So when I go out on the streets, I gotta go ahead and put this information out where people ain't watching YouTube and all that. You know what I'm saying? These older clans, because they holding us back. A lot of the older clans holding us back because they ain't getting more intelligent. They reached their peak already. And this is what happened with the Israelites, according to the Bible. They wandered around in the desert for 40 years because of the old people who still wanted to be with Pharaoh. They didn't want to go to the new spot. They wanted to chill with Pharaoh. They why they tell Moses, why we left Pharaoh, man? We was eating good. We could sleep in a good bed. We could take showers, hot baths. And you brought us out here in the desert to starve to death and die. All in the name of some God. Some God. We're going to go back to worshiping the God of ancient Kemet. So they went and built a calf to the goddess Hathor, who actually is Mother Ninti, Ninhursag, who breastfed the first human in the Taurus age, which is why she got that symbol on her head with the sun right there in the Taurus age, and she holding the baby, which is the first classified human being that she actually bred in her womb. Yeah, so that's why I'm wearing red for the person that tried to shoot a shot. I guess they were trying to shoot a shot. Man, your hands ain't long enough to box with God, my nigga. Your hands ain't long enough. Why? That's why I wear red today, because I'm dealing with the root chakra. But we got any more questions? We got any more questions before we close out? We about at an hour 30, man. We're gonna be back tomorrow to crack some more heads and twist caps before we get the internet back up on Monday, and then we'll be back on streaming yard. Oh yeah, Big Mama never left. Big Mama never left. Big Mama has always been watching the whole dang on time. You know they say Big Brother? Nah, not Big Brother. It's Big Mama watching. Big Mama's always watching. But take me some of that black seed oil. I can still taste it in this right here water. I must have took some earlier. Well, hey, what group? What first group before the ancient? And what first group? The Anunnaki group? Because the Anunnaki was coming down in groups of 50 in these shams. It says they also show you in the movie Big Hero 6. Indeed. Shout out Brother Love. It says, so who has eyes in the back of their head? Shit, you do. You can see. You got eyes in the back of your head. When you become like Lucy and get the brain capacity, where she said, I'm everywhere. She called a nigga on the cell phone. Hey, go to if you want to learn about the Ascension vegan man, go to the Young Elder playlist, scroll down to the Ascension manual classes and watch all those classes. About the chakras and all that. Caught me. Yeah, I put all Ascension manuals out already. All Ascension manual videos. We got if you want to get the Ascension manual book, we got that for $20 donation to the Cash App. Leave your emails in the link. But like I say, you may well go and get all 8 books by the Young Elder for the $45 donation to the Cash App. Some people bought the book yesterday, bought the $45 book sales yesterday. We sent everybody their books already. So if you want to get those books for $45 donation to the Cash App or PayPal, The Young Elder, we're gonna have it in the descriptions and the links after the show. But it's The Young Elder without the S on the Cash App. TheYoungElder, right? And the same thing on PayPal. 45. Make sure you leave your email and links. We send you the books right now as soon as we get off. Yeah, but that Ascension manual is the one though. Does Enlil have surveillance mission? Yeah, the Black Knight satellite. The moon is one of their satellites, and they got a device. They got a supercomputer in the center of the Earth that was built by the Denakals that he can look at. He can control from his tablets of destiny, and he can zoom in. They can zoom in 300 miles in the Earth crust. Cause they've been using these devices a long time ago when they was going to different planets to see if they had gold. They gave this technology to the Greys because the Greys was explorers and they'd go look at this planet and they'd use this X-ray device to see if they got gold on that planet, and they could scan down a certain amount of miles into the crust. Yeah, so that's that. So Enlil had the machines. It says, is it true that when we get into advanced in technology, they just reset? Yeah, that's what that was happening too. The Anunnakis did that one time, maybe twice. They did it one time during the time when Murdoch and Nigazita and them was about to get ready. They was building a Stargate. They eventually built it anyway, but they was in the process of building the Stargate to be able to go to different planets, right? And get into heaven again, right? It's just a story of they took and made it to Nimrod story. But Enlil found out about it, and he went and ordered Nertu to bomb ancient Babylon, which was where Murdoch had his laboratory set up. And so they blew these stargates up, but they eventually rebuilt them anyway and got them going. After we moved to Atlantis. So now you got the Stargates where it's like a telephone system where you could dial to a certain galaxy and walk through a wormhole. That was built by the Atlanteans, the ancient ones. They called Tahuti, Melchizedek them, and Murdoch them the ancient ones. If Enlil's guilty, everybody's guilty. Everybody did wrong. Will he be punished? He already really received his punishment. His punishment was to be banned off of Earth, banned off of the Gold Project, and to allow the Inky to pass back to Earth to take over the gold operation. The gold operation is still going on. They just ain't telling you about it. Right, that they did was it Woodrow Wilson that collected all the gold? Why did they still collecting and buying gold? Why do you think gold is one of the main commodities? Gold is a universal currency. Gold and diamonds is universal currency. It says, what is the world in with fire and brimstone story really about? All right, so what it is, it's really about the earth cleansing itself. So the fire and brimstone shit is really about the volcanoes, right? Erupting. It's about nuclear destruction. Now, they got it written in the future of this planet that there's going to be a nuclear war. And that's going to be what's going to be the fire and brimstone of nuclear war, right? But that can be altered. The future is only a calculation. If it ain't happened yet, it can possibly not happen. If it hadn't happened right now, like if the planet hadn't been destroyed right now, so it's a possibility that it's not gonna happen. It depends on what we do right now, and based on the past. The past has already happened, so we can't change the past. So it's really based on what happened now. Is these world leaders these Dragonians are going to decide to pull the plug and say, if we can't have it, nobody can have it. and blow the place to smithereens. But keep in mind, this already happened before. The planet already got blew up with nuclear weapons, and it got replenished again. Yeah, that's right. Cleopatra Cleopatra star. Keep that key, man. You got that key. I got my key. You got yours. I got my key. You got yours. This is the key. This is the key that Tahuti give us. The key to get into the fifth dimension. Eternal life key. Eternal life key is the key to get into the fifth dimension. Right? So I got my key. You got yours. Yeah, some of that's happening too. Really getting hit by meteorites because they ain't telling you about the third of the stars falling to the ground. They mention it in the Injil. A third of the stars fall to the sky. It's talking about meteorite shower. They that supposedly usually hit us. It's supposed to happen in November or one of the coming years is coming up in November after the. It's supposed to happen in 2024 after the eclipse, the big eclipse that crawled across the earth. They're supposed to draw this gravitational pull of these asteroids, and when they come into the atmosphere, they look like fireballs, great balls of fire. It says, yeah. So some of those satellites are being knocked out by meteorites, and some of them are being shut down by extraterrestrials beings who finna get ready to take over the TV if they don't come out and come clean within the next 42 months. If they don't come out and come clean between the next 42 months with a lot of the stuff that they've been holding back as far as extraterrestrials and technology, these extraterrestrials, these grays have been already given the order to take over your airwaves and start coming broadcasting live right on TV and every YouTube and they can take over all these channels. It ain't nothing. They advance 50,000 years ahead of this earth in technology. These grays, they got no match for them guys. Mark 1 is about 700 some miles. That's when you break the speed of sound. 700, I think it's 718 miles an hour, something like a second or something like that. But Mark, they got said they go Mark 5 and 6 now, planes. But we still can shoot that down. Remember I said Mark 6 rockets, nigga, we still shoot them down. Say you want a truth, nigga, meet me at the miles. We shoot Mark 6 rockets, they're still slow for us. Yeah, 1/3 of them is our allies. Keep in mind, 2/3. 2/3 of these people are our allies, right? Keep in mind, Charnush convinced 1/3 of these different species to join on with him. He could this 1/3. The devil, I gotta say like this for my religious guys are watching. The devil convinced 1/3 of heaven to join on with him. So if you take 1/3 of that tribe, they join with the bad. Well, we were, from my perspective, the bad guys. And then the other 2/3 joined and fought with Michael, Murdoch, the Anarchies and his people. 2/3 fought with Michael. And then the other 1/3 fought with the 72 captains, 72 demons, 200 captains who got kicked out and trapped in Shambhala by the angel Michael, Murdoch, Ra, who eventually they became worshipped as the Son of God, the Son of Enki. Right? So yeah, They are allies. They commando. They are 2/3 of them are our allies. Anu actually hired them to come and exterminate a particular species that had came from another galaxy. They were about to take over this galaxy called xenomorphs. They we call them face huggers. They jump on your face, plant an egg in you, and the egg hatch out of your body, out of your chest busters. They put a movie out about it called Aliens versus Predators. See, look, I know that's another thing. Before I get off, let me say this. They put these movies out. What do you think that they get the information from? Did they just make it up? What do they draw this information? They draw these beings down from the fourth dimension. These beings exist. If they didn't exist, they couldn't even think of them. You can't think of nothing that don't exist. Let me say it again. So who told me to tell y'all this? For everybody that come and say, Young can't prove none of the extraterrestrial shit that he taught. I couldn't tell you about them if they didn't exist. Because how could I tell you about them if they don't exist? I couldn't even think of it. I couldn't even think. You can't even think of nothing that don't exist. Think of something that never existed right now. We'll wait. So who did he say we'll wait? Think of something that never existed. So if you could think of it, then it means it exists. And what they're doing is they're drawing them down. Listen to that now. They drawing them down. Drawing them down from where? Then becomes the question. So anytime anybody tell you anything about extraterrestrials, they say, oh, I saw this being or this and that. They couldn't tell you about it if it didn't exist. They couldn't even talk about it. They couldn't even begin to explain it because it don't exist. And in order for something to, just by you being able to explain it, you bring it into existence. If it ain't in existence. So think over that. So who do you say think over that? You can't think of nothing that don't exist. If you think of it, it exists. So the predators, the greys, the anarchies, whoever you could think of, if you could think of it, it exists. And on that note, Islam, it says so by 2025, the anarchists will broadcast live. Yeah, the anarchies, the greys is the ones that are going to be taking over, though, the greys. The gray aliens is going to take over the airwaves. But on that note, Islam, Hotep, peace, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, ashug. Divine love throughout the boundless universe to all. Wadu.